something wicked this way comes, and it's me, my friends, OldManBronze, coming at you with the Halloween update for Phasmophobia Nightmare. So, we're going to run through real quick, and we are going to give you the what's what on the new Phasmophobia patch, and we're going to tell you how excited we are to play it. So, basically, this is the Nightmare update version 0.40. Brand new map, new ghost. Not just one ghost, but 4 ghosts. And the rest of us are going to go on and read through it. So, Maple Lodge Campsite. That sounds dangerous already. So, brand new medium-sized map featuring picnic areas, games, multiple tents, a log cabin, and a haunted lake. Maple Lodge Campsite has more unique objects, higher object density, and more visual detail. Minimum specifications computers should have no issues, but if you have outdated hardware, you may see FPS drops. Just a heads up, if you've got a potato, just turn the knob down a little bit, you'll be fine. Other locations will see more detail and more unique objects at a later date. In the future, other locations will see a new truck mini-map designed to be consistent with the Maple Lodge Campsite. They actually do have a brand new map in it. We are definitely going to be playing this week for our final week of scary October games. Difficulty reworks. This is interesting, since I am not much past intermediate at this point in the game, and I don't think I will be for a little bit, but nonetheless, all difficulties have received a major overhaul. We hope these changes make each difficulty feel more unique and provide more options for players of every skill level, which is always super cool. A percentage of doors will now randomly open randomly start open depending on difficulty. So a lot of times, like, you go into a house, all the doors are closed, obviously, and so like many times when you're opening and checking out stuff, you close them behind you, because if a ghost is going to open a door, the ghost is going to open the door. Now you're actually going to start depending on difficulty, and some doors will already be open. It does not necessarily indicate that that is where the ghost is. You can still find out with fingerprints or things like that, but nonetheless, little tricksy, nice little tricksy ghosts. So, amateur recommended for the new ghost hunters. This is sort of on the ballpark where I am, but we're also playing an intermediate as well. Just mostly we're just trying our best to survive, really. You've got a long setup time. You've got a long hunt grace period before the hunts start taking place. A short hunt duration, so easier to dodge them and find some place to hide and not have to wait out forever. Regain half of your lost equipment value if you die. Super nice while you're learning how to hide. Honestly, figuring out what the ghost is not super hard, but you know, once they start hunting, if you cannot dodge them, it feels very punishing right away. Once you learn, like, it's okay. Like, I'm even getting better at it, but nonetheless, that's super nice for folks starting the game. That is a beautiful thing. If you haven't played this game, please pick it up because it's amazing. Intermediate, the standard ghost hunting experience. Average setup time, average hunt grace period, average hunt duration. Sanity pills restore some sanity. Fuse box starts off fewer places to hide, which means, like, and I've seen videos come out already where, like, now your favorite closet now has suitcases in it, and so you should probably run around real quick before you're in a pinch and see which closets are going to be okay and which are not, and then figure out your routes appropriately. So you regain some of your lost equipment's value if you die. So that's nice. There's still something there. Professional, I do not even dare yet, but we're going to talk about it. So the ghost can very rarely change his preferred room after moving. So this isn't roaming. This is actually something different. Like, ghosts can still roam, but sometimes it might start out in one room and then it ends up moving its way into the other, which can be sometimes hard to track depending on what you have set up. No setup time. Basically, it's game on when you walk in the door. Short hunt grace period. That means, like, you could get hunted. You know, there's not like, okay, well, it just hunted, now I'm free to do whatever for a while. You got to keep on your toes, and so, you know, smudge sticks are going to be handy, all those sorts of good things. Long hunt duration, so it's going to hunt for you, and it's going to hunt for you, and then it's going to hunt for you some more. Sanity pills restore a little sanity. The fuse box starts off much much fewer hiding places. So once again, once you go into one of your favorite maps, make sure you are checking your favorite hiding spots to see whether or not they are stuffed with luggage or boxes or something nonsensical like that. It will save you probably some money and probably a little bit of frustration, but super cool that, you know, the difficulties have, I mean, you can tell if you play between these three, like, especially if you're newer to the game, obviously this is a much easier experience. You're just learning the basics. Here, you know, it actually gets a little scary. And here, if you don't have a lot of hours in the game and you're really used to your you know, 1 or 2 hiding spots, you're going to be in real big trouble here because that hiding spot may not be a hiding spot anymore. So boom, nightmare difficulty. We're not there yet. It's going to be a while, but I look forward to it. A new difficulty for the top ghost hunters decided to be a challenge mode for those seeking the most intense gameplay Phasmophobia has to offer. Ghosts will not reveal one type of evidence. So here's what happens. Like, basically, you know, mostly, I mean, sometimes you know because of how the ghost behaves or what they do, but you're going to actually have to rely on that in this mode. You are only going to be able to collect 2 types of evidence for this ghost. It's only going to give you 2 out of the 3, and then the rest is going to have to go on your knowledge of the game and your knowledge of the ghost behavior, and so that is super interesting. Once I get there, the ghost will sometimes change its preferred room after moving, so it can just decide after wandering around a little bit that it prefers the bathroom to the bedroom that it was in before, or whatever the case. This is gonna be super hard on bigger maps. But super fun too, chasing the ghost around the place while we all die. No setup time, obviously. Shortest hunt grace period, which is, you know, it once again keeps you on your toes. You need coordination if you're in a group, and kills extend the current hunt's duration. Like, this is like a bad Dead by Daylight perk. Like, for every time you whack somebody, you get faster or whatever. Like, if the ghost kills someone, it extends their hunt. So, like, they can chain hunt by killing people, which is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Sanity pills restore much less sanity, so there are no numbers here. But people will find out as they go. Fuse box starts off, almost no hiding places, so a lot of this is going to be looping, smudge sticks, things like that, or a little bit of scouting things out and seeing if some of your favorite hiding places are still safe. Remember that. Paranormal interference has damaged some of your monitoring equipment. I have already seen videos about this. When you look at your screens in the van, your sanity meter is broken. You do not know what your sanity is. And also, your cheap and easy way to find out if EMF 5 is actually on the table is also broken. So, like, the little spikes and stuff, they're shattered like someone punched them. It's hilarious. Once again, weather. Each time you start a contract, the location will have a different weather, adding new layers of gameplay and making each contract feel unique. Change in temperature will make finding a ghost location more difficult. Rain and wind will impair your hearing, and a thick fog will reduce visibility. Once again, I've already seen a couple gameplays that have gone through thick fog out at the campsite. Was ridiculous. Like, sticking a camera out there was like sticking, I don't even know, like sticking your head in like the shower, like, has been running for like 3 hours. You can't see anything. So this is very interesting that they're actually making weather, you know, a bigger part of the game, not just ambiance. Like, it actually is going to, you know, you're going to have problems hearing or seeing things that you normally would because of the fog, or it's super cool. The Ouija board. Dangerous thing. I rarely touch it yet, but the Ouija board didn't make as much sense as we'd like, so it's been revamped. You now trade sanity for information and are penalized less if you don't get a response. A lot of times I would ask the board like 3 times, it wouldn't do anything, and in the beginning I wasn't realizing that I was just throwing away my sanity. That would be me. And so now you lose sanity for correct answers, and you are penalized less for non-responses. So if you're asking it where it is or how old it is, like to get interaction photos or to find out where the ghost is if it's super tough. Demons have also had their weaknesses changed to reflect these changes. Like, obviously, like, if anybody's played this game for a little while, you know about demons and sanity and Ouija boards. And so I have not checked the in-game details yet, but that has been changed appropriately. So several new ghost types have been cited. Several. These new ghost types have an increased chance to spawn for the duration of the Halloween event. The Onroll, the Twins, the Obaki, and the Raiju. So 4 more ghosts of the game and a brand new map. Good gravy. So, when crouching, players collider now shrinks to match the player's model. That's good. Looks like a little bit of just shopkeeping. Ghosts will now disrupt electronic equipment whenever they are visible. I have not witnessed this yet, but I am interested to see what that does, especially like whether it refers to when you're trying to take a ghost photo, things like that. So it's not just your flashlight's going to blink on and off. You're going to have issues with your electronic equipment in some way, shape, or form. I can't wait to get in to find out. So ghosts can now blow out lighters as well as candles. Using the walkie-talkie will now attract ghosts during hunts. So no chatting with your pals while the ghost is hunting because they will eat you. The walkie-talkie will now only play static sounds when near the ghost. Okay, so there was a way for you to check to see if the hunt was over or not while you're hiding in a locker by tapping on the walkie-talkie. That has now been patched out of the game. So now it will only play static sounds when you're near the ghost. Lighters and candles will now extinguish when outside in heavy rain and wind thrown. Makes sense. It's very cool. Truck map has received new icons. There are new icons on like the maps that show where your cameras are placed, which I think is great. I don't know what the other ones are, but I'm sure that is just one of them. So that is very cool. Like, I mean, not that you don't know where you stuck it, but it's kind of neat to see which one is on. And if you have a couple that are set up on the map, as you switch through them, the icon will switch on the map. The ghost can now interact with several showers in certain locations. So it's not just dirty water, it's going to be dirty showers, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. And you can now place sound and motion sensors on floors, which is fantastic. So changes. All ghost-based speed and acceleration when chasing a player has been slightly increased. I am terrified. Thank you very much. Ghost hunt duration has been lowered on small and medium maps. Ghosts now have a low chance to not leave fingerprints when interacting with the environment. So it's not just like if they're a fingerprints ghost, they leave fingerprints. So there is a chance that they will not, and so they kind of throw you off a little bit. Fingerprints now disappear after 60 seconds. Not like I've got all the time in the world to get this done. If you do not have your equipment in, or your glow stick and your camera or whatever you are doing to find those, you've got 60 seconds before those fingerprints disappear until you have another chance at more fingerprint evidence, which could also possibly be a chance to not leave fingerprints. So you got to make sure that you're on top of that when it happens. And that's looks like that's for all difficulties. That's not just a nightmare or professional thing. Attic and basement ghosts now roam less often, which is nice. Where they're just kind of going to be more where they are. Attic and basement ghosts will now only roam to the next floor and not to the other side of the map. This was a big thing on larger maps or things like that. So where you thought you had a basement ghost and you set up all your crap, or like you were on Bleasdale up in the attic and you were pretty sure, and then the next thing you know, like it was like downstairs in a corner somewhere after you finally tracked it back down again and been hunted several times. So this is nice. It kind of puts a little leash on them. It doesn't mean they can't roam, but it just means that if they do roam, it's going to be someplace reasonably close if you lose track of them. All contracts are now selectable at all times on the map screen, instead of just having like the 2 or 3 that are available to you at all like when you would look at it. Like you could pick from any one at any time, which is super, super nice, especially if you've got a favorite map or you're working on it or you are whatever, you're learning the maps. Like you can keep choosing the same one again and again until you have memorized it or whatever. The average sanity will now be accurate instead of random, like where it would like kind of bebop back and forth a little bit around where you're supposed to be. Now it's just going to be actual. This is your reading of your sanity. Which is fine. The contract difficulty will now default to the difficulty you played last, so you don't have to worry about switching it. If you've been playing an intermediate, your next game will be intermediate unless you change it to be otherwise. The map description has been replaced with a difficulty description, which is excellent. The bone can now be a random bone from the human body and has new visuals, so like skulls and pelvises and all sorts of wonderful things that started showing up on the maps, and it's pretty cool. Just the little touches that make it like, instead of looking like like a, you know, like a chicken leg bone that's on the floor. Now it can actually be like a skull or something. So it's super cool. Ghost footsteps can only be heard when the ghost is moving. Changing screen resolution in the journal now offers confirmation, so if you do adjust that, it will let you know. Freezing temperatures evidence has been changed to account for the new weather, requiring a lower reading on the thermometer. Breath has been unchanged, so you will still be able to see your breath, but you will have to take kind of like, if you are using the thermometer, you will have to take an ambient kind of what it is, you know, to really decide whether or not freezing is freezing with a thermometer, but your breath will still show up. The fuse box on and off indicator has been split into 2 different lights instead of one that changes color, so just pretty straightforward. Ghost sounds will now fade out instead of abruptly stopping. So that's kind of cool, like just kind of like, once again, like more like a little housekeeping, like a little fine tuning. Ghost handprints and footprints have received new textures, super cool. Lighters will now turn off when swapped into your inventory, which is good because it makes no sense to put a flaming lighter into your pocket or your shirt pocket. That would be painful. Ghosts can now blow out candles when the lights are turned on. This used to be a thing where you could only get, like, if you needed to get candle interaction, you know, to get that objective done, you had to make sure the lights were off. Now, that was a big deal, but now it's nice that it can happen either way. Several rooms have been renamed on Edgefield, Bleasdale, and Grafton. All ghost events will now last a minimum of 1 second. Even in my amateurish to intermediate stylings in Phasmophobia, this is sometimes like it'll just show up for half a second and then you're like, ah! And then you flip around and try to get a picture and it's gone. So now at the minimum, it will be 1 second. Not that this happened all the time. It wasn't like, you know, like a plague or anything that constantly you would be, you know, cucked by ghosts who are like, nah, 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 and then be gone. So several photo frames now have their photos replaced. This is actually a cool little story for those who are more involved in the Phasmophobia community. They actually requested people to send in pictures of their cats and animals and different pictures. And so the pictures you will now see in the photo frames are from people who play Phasmophobia, which I think is super cool. Like, honestly, like, you know, I really love games like this. And not only do I love this game, but that's the thing. So the heartbeat will now fade in and out. The volume has also been lowered. Okay, so it's not so but it will also fade in and out. I'm going to assume with distance or proximity to you, but we'll see. So fixes: fixed grammar and punctuation for English on the journal in several pages. Fixed a bug where ghosts would not always do their walking animation for ghost events. Like sometimes they just stand there and whatever, which is fine, easier to take a picture of them, but fixed a bug where only the host could turn the car alarm off, which is nice. Turning the car alarm off, man, like there was one, I think my first car alarm that actually went on, I could not find the key, and like the rest of the game it just went off until I never found the key. Like I figured out the ghost and I got out and I was like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. Fixed a bug where you could place salt in the prison on the prison staircase inside the wall. Yeah, it's good. Bug fix. Fixed a bug where no code in clipboard and none weren't translating. Fixed a bug where footstep sounds would continue after you have stopped moving. That would always weird me out. I would always hear this in the truck. Okay, like I would be coming back from the truck and I had maybe just escaped with my life, or I just got the crap scared out of me, and then I would be walking into the truck where I'm supposed to be safe, and I would hear like 3 or 4 footsteps like behind me, and I'd be like, ah! And now I know they can't attack me in the truck, but still creepy. So I mean, that's cool that they have fixed that. Fixed a bug where the hunt wouldn't end if the host left during the hunt. One of my favorite streamers, Intim, who you should watch because he's amazing, highlighted this bug. He works with the developers as well, so I mean, he wasn't like being like, you know, sneaky deaky like dickhead. He was, you know, highlighting this. You could actually do a thing where if you played in a group and once the ghosts started haunting, if whoever was hosting the session dropped, the ghost would be kind of stuck in a permanent state of hunting without actually hunting you. So you could actually watch how the ghost walks around the map, which was very, very informational, and there's several videos up on it, just kind of getting an idea of how ghosts move around, because like obviously when you can't see them, you know, you're going by evidence and ghost events and things like that, but sometimes like all of a sudden it stops and you would have no idea. So getting a little more idea about like how roaming ghosts roam, you know, and things like that was very, very helpful. But that has been patched out of the game. It was very helpful, but it was obviously something that they wanted to have fixed. Fixed a bug where having multiple monitors with different resolution would crash the game. Fixed a bug where the ghost would sing and make hunting sounds at the same time, which was a little creepy, but it also felt like a bit much. Like it couldn't make up its mind what it wanted to do, whether it wanted to serenade you or eat you. So that's cool. Fixed a bug where you could hold a tripod with a camera during a hunt and the ghost would find you. Wouldn't find you, like you could hide behind your tripod or something. I didn't know about them, but that's fine that it's fixed. That's obviously something that you know don't want to have in the game. Fixed a bug where the bloom option buttons were back around the main menu. That's a nice fix. Fixed a bug where you could see a dots ghost through the walls where there was no dots projector, so sometimes it would show up like they just walked through the dots, but you don't even have a projector on the ground, so that's good. And fixed an exploit where you could use a camera on a tripod to trick the ghost into thinking you were inside. Not even sure, but I'm glad that they are fixing bugs and exploits. So this looks amazing. 4 more ghosts added, a brand new map, an outdoor map added, weather effects that are going to play directly into your gameplay, and a rework of the difficulties. Wow, like what an amazing amount of stuff that's coming in. I realize I've seen some people post already on Twitter that there have been some bugginess and things like that, but you know what? I played Dead by Daylight for nearly 5 years. You know, a few bugs, they'll hammer it out. Like, it's a really, really cool team putting together this game and making it great and fun for everybody. And I definitely look forward to playing more of it and looking forward to play to this brand new Halloween update that they brought us. So I just want to thank you guys real quick for your time. Thank you for allowing me to read to you. And make sure you like and subscribe and for more content for scary, spooky horror games. And much love from the old man. We will see you soon.